All right, so we're over at Doug's house again today, and he's doing some testing. You're going to notice there's more than one speaker out here, but you're kind of using both, but not really. So tell me what you're doing, Doug.
I'm a nerd. You know what I'm saying? Basically, what I did was I made a few changes to this because I'm a perfectionist.
And this is your new.
Yeah, this is my prototype that I've been working on for a
NewTaik.
while
Yeah,
for NewTaik Acoustics.
Yep.
And I've had some wins and some losses, and I've had to, and open baffles.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It can drive you to drinking. So I made the proof of concept, and I said, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I want to see what these guys sound like using the crossover of these because they're using the same driver. So I'm like, you know, what the heck? Let me hook them up.
Right.
And, you know, it's kind of an audiophile no-no because I've got the mid and bass coming out of here and then crossed over to here at 700 hertz.
Yeah. So you're doing your mids and bass off of the outside units.
Yeah.
And over here we're just using the horn tweets.
Right.
So,
At 700 hertz crossover point. These guys are some old Eminence drivers that Spatial Audio used years ago.
Right.
They don't even belong in the same room as these.
Right. Yeah.
But this gives me a chance to hear a semblance of what a whole system would sound like with these guys.
So tell me, you told me you did a little bit of testing. I don't need you to like give a whole lot of information on what your test results are looking like, but I know you're pretty happy with them.
Yeah, well, I did some testing on these, and the frequency response at 1/12 scaling, which is 3 times the industry standard, is plus or minus 3 dB in the whole range.
Sweet.
I've got a little jockey at 9-10K, which will give you a little sparkle, and then I've got a 3.4 and a 1.2K to worry about. And those things happen. Easy to take care of. But the biggest thing I found out was distortion profile.
And
that's
I hear
what you
your
want.
dog barking in the background.
Yeah,
so she's happy about this too.
Yeah, she loves
sounds
it.
very excited.
Yeah,
Okay.
she sits in here with me. I don't crank it up with her because they're
They're
dogs.
Yeah.
But the distortion profile is even with me not having these tuned. I'm running off these crossovers, so I haven't done anything to fix some of the abnormalities. It's all it's got is a contour filter and a crossover. I'm getting 0.5 and under distortion at 100 decibels.
Very nice.
Which
Like
I don't too many dome tweeters that could pull that off.
Yeah, nice.
And so I was happy. It made me feel that my research was valid, you know, and what choices I made. But I had you over to hear.
Yeah, so you had this on when I walked.
Yeah.
Like I heard it from outside, and then I got to step in the room, and I mean, you're playing some jazz, and it just sounded like a live performance in here. Like the soundstage had, you know, well beyond the wall.
Yeah, the soundstage is in the street,
and it was coming forward too. So it was a very nice soundstage.
and you're not going to get the soundstage width and stuff that you're normally going to get because I've got this huge driver offset.
Yeah, yeah, and that was the amazing thing. You've got these like everything's offset. Like this should not.
This
work.
whole system right now is audiophile no.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I expected it to sound like some dog duke.
Yeah.
And then I had it last night on. I'm like, this sounds pretty good for all the things wrong.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, I better call Ryan.
Yeah, I'll let you have over to hear it. I mean, I was proud enough of it just for the fact that from 700 hertz up, these guys are so clean and so resolving that I'm like, you know, and you know, my plans of this have changed a little bit.
Right, and so you're going to add a mid-range driver.
Yes.
Yes. Now, what size driver are you going to be using on that?
8-inch.
8-inch driver. Okay.
Yeah, it's got the combination of large enough to handle the crossover point coming from these.
Okay.
But it's small enough to have the low cone weight, you know, moving mass, to be able to speed up to handle the transition of these. What I found, and this is common, 15-inch driver has a larger, even though these are light moving mass compared to a lot of 15-inch woofers, still, you're dealing with a little over 100 grams of moving mass here, shooting into a moving mass of a compression driver that's like near zero. You know, it's almost nothing.
Yeah.
That, for somebody like me that's got super sensitive ears to transients, you can hear it.
Yeah.
You know, you go from super speed to mid speed, and it's just too much. I was like, no, I can't do that. Yeah. So the mid range came into play. So I'm going to mount a free air or open baffle mid range up here. Yeah. And the reason I'm doing separate baffles is because You can make one baffle work for multiple drivers, but you got to do a lot to it. If you give each driver its own baffle space, you can contour that baffle and make it work perfect for the driver you're doing.
Fantastic. Right on. This is exciting, man. I'm really happy for how this is coming along for you, and I can't wait to hear the finished product and also see it. I'm going to be very interested to see how the mid-range driver mounts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I know you've already got some creative ideas on that.
I do. So. I've got some plans on that. I don't know if I'm going to make it adjustable yet, simply because of the fact of I don't know how much it'd need to be adjustable.
I don't think you need it.
No, but I'm going to mount it up here. I'm going to make it as close to this guy as possible without causing major problems with this right here.
Now, this is a little bit of a change because this was actually going to mount a little bit differently, but you've actually brought it down from where it was going to go, which gets you a little bit closer to your other drivers. But yeah,
you want the drivers as close as possible to each other. And since I changed my path to go to a three-way.
Right.
I wanted this guy shortened up. So what I did was I took the trim ring and trimmed it flush and sunk the torn down into the baffle a little bit. Yep. And it allowed me the ability to mount a mid-range up here and it not be an 8-foot haul speaker.
And I would assume that how you coupled this with this, you're eliminating as much crossover resonance from this into your baffle.
Well, I mean, look at this baffle. I mean, it's constrained layer dampening.
Right.
The baffle, so it's like knocking on concrete. This wood back here, I didn't show you this, but it's constrained layer dampened now too. I've got strips of MDF on the back of these real wood panels that are constrained layer dampened.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, very very dead sounding cabinet.
Does that sound like wood? No. I mean, that's why. Yeah. So, and I've also, the back of those wings are completely felt layered to keep resonance down. Because when you do a wings like this, you can create resonance within, not just two wings, but when you box it in the top like that, it can create what they call a pipe resonance. You got to deal with it. Best way is to cancel it out.
Yep, very good.
So...
Well, man, it's exciting, and I know you still have a ways to go on this, and you've got another project you're kind of working on. We'll talk about that maybe in the next video.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I was like, I picked the two hardest technologies in all of speakerdom, most likely to tune.
Yeah.
Open baffles, because you have both sides to worry about. You have cancellations and horns.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like working with horns because you got to do things. So I decided to come out with a 10-inch two-way that incorporates this exact driver combination with a very high-speed 10-inch woofer in a sealed box. Because I want to be a company that is a situational company.
Right.
You know, you see a lot of speaker companies that do this thing where they build one line of speakers and it's all the same tech, and they just build a smaller one for smaller rooms and a bigger one for bigger rooms.
Yeah.
I want to be the company that it's scenario based. If I want to build a speaker for an apartment dweller, I want to build an enclosure. Open baffle's not going to work for an apartment guy. Right. So a little sealed box that keeps the speed high, that has a horn on it, that's really, really good at low distortion for them.
Yep.
And then this will be my more flagship level, big room, open baffle speakers. Because once you get speakers so big that you have large drivers, when you put them in enclosures, they like to slow down. I want to keep the speed high.
Very good.
So open baffle is the best way to do that, in my opinion. So I want to build my company to a company that has speakers for each scenario that the customer could potentially need.
Very nice. And that company, again, is going to be called
NewTaik Acoustics.
And we'll be basically kind of handling those through Vassal High End and getting those out to everybody. So
it's a process.
Time.
Yeah,
Very
it's a process.
Time, man. So hey, thanks for the time, Doug, and we appreciate everybody watching.
If you want to see what what kind of brain tricks I go through, this is my breadboard of componentry and test rig, and it's it can. Yeah. I have times where I'm doing a Toyota jump, and I have times that if I still drank, I would be heavy into a bottle.
Very nice. All right, man. It's good talking to you, Doug.
All right.
And we'll see you guys next time on Signal Paths.